Buenas tardes, bienvenidos todos a la continuación de nuestro primer Festival Internacional de la Facultad de Contaduría y Administración. En esta tarde estamos por iniciar la conferencia del Centro de Estudios para Extranjeros de la UNAM, el Centro de Enseñanza para Extranjeros de la UNAM, el CEPE. Cedemos el micrófono a nuestro moderador, el doctor Ricardo Méndez Cruz, secretario de Divulgación y Fomento Editorial de la Facultad de Contaduría y Administración.
Bien, muchas gracias, Mario. Buenas tardes a todas y todos. Me pidieron y tenemos el gusto de tener con nosotros al doctor Alberto Vital. Lo he escuchado, doctor, he compartido con usted algunas, yo como su escucha más que otras situaciones, y me honra mucho estar con usted en esta ocasión moderando una conferencia con toda la humildad que uno puede tener frente a una figura como usted, doctor, que además me entero es fan y trabaja mucho a los textos de Juan Rulfo y lector ávido de esas obras. Me voy a permitir, antes de cederle la palabra, estimado doctor, leer una breve semblanza que, como la conferencia es en inglés, me permito leerla en inglés, doctor. El doctor Domingo Alberto Vital Díaz has a degree in Hispanic language and literatures from UNAM, a Master of Arts from UNAM, and his doctor in letters from the Hamburg University in Hispanics area. As a researcher attached to the Hermeneutic Seminar of the Institute of Philological Research, has studied the work of Rulfo, Rilke, Borges, Torres, Bodet, and Salado Alvarez within various theoretical lines such as the aesthetics of reception, hermeneutics, comparative literature, the pragmatics of literacy, communication, and onomastics. Among his research books, we can mention the concepts of superposition, the ebook on comparative literature and culture, the new metamorphoses, humans and things, 15 hypotheses on genres, and the manuals for the study of pragmatics, onomastic literature, and hermeneutics, as well as the recently published argumental manual. In addition, Dr. Vital is a recognized specialist in the work of Juan Rulfo, as can be appreciated thanks to the numerous publications that he has made about the writer, and his work, among which are News on Juan Rulfo, The Arguments of the Murderers, Justification Mechanisms in the Character of Juan Rulfo, Rilke, the names in The Plane in Flames, First Mentions, and other onomastic resources. In the fields of humanities, he has published Problems of Representation and Representativeness, 10 Powers and Language and Literatures in Times of Pandemics, from the collection Letters from Pandemic from UNAM. In the last decade, Alberto Vital has held many important positions, such as the official of the National Autonomous University of Mexico. But he has continued his academic and literary career. He has been director of the Research Institute of Philological Humanities Coordinator, and in January of the past year, he began his labor as the director of the Teaching Center for Foreigners, CEPE. Dr. Vital, it's a pleasure to be here with you, so please.
Muchas gracias, José Ricardo. Thank you very much. I am very thankful for the invitation to participate in this true international feast or festival of ideas and proposals. Especially I appreciate the generous words this morning in his inaugural address by the director of the School of Accounting and Administration, Facultad de Contaduría y Administración, of our National Autonomous University of Mexico, Tomás Rubio. Thank you very much, Tomás. Always, we have always very well collaborated, as he mentioned this morning. Thank you very much again. I also thank and congratulate Mixi Jacqueline Gomez. Thank you very much. She has made possible with her staff this splendid week. We will divide our presentation in three parts. First of all, I'm going to make a short talk about the origins of our center exactly 102 months ago. as summer school. Secondly, my colleague, Pablo Nagano, he's head of the Department of Communication of our center, will present you our offer in order you to know exactly how and what we made in this time. And finally, I would like to encourage you to make us questions, ask us questions, because in this way we can understand what exactly do you want to know about our Centro de Enseñanza para Extranjeros, learning center for foreigners of our university. I predict that this week remain and will be very successful now and in the next year. And it is an honor for our center to make part of this first day of this first week. Now, how was our center born exactly, as I have just said, 100 years and 2 months ago? The legendary rector or president of our university, Jose Vasconcelos, decided to open a summer school at July 1st in 1921. The National University of Mexico, not yet autonomous, had been opened, or in any sense reopened, by Justo Sierra 11 years before, in 1910, at the end of the long personal regime of Porfirio Díaz, the last dictator of Mexican history. Between 1910 and 1921, our country lived, as you know, the Mexican Revolution, the first social revolution of the 20th century, and the first war filmed in human history. Anecdotically, I could say that some aspects of some battles were filmed, indeed, by American film companies, and Pancho Villa became worldwide famous. That was the image of our country in those years. Mexican Revolution, Mexican revolutionary people, Pancho Villa, Emiliano Zapata. On the other side, a young generation formed by well-cultivated people like Alfonso Reyes, José Vasconcelos, Pedro Enrique Sureña, was trying to make part also of our history, and especially in the branch of the education in Mexico. They knew this so-called generation of the Ateneo de Mexico. They knew that education was the way to make, in short, a better country from our population. Many people were discriminated because they didn't have enough education especially for the modern world. José Vasconcelos was a young lawyer, supporter of the first president of the Mexican Revolution, Francisco y Madero. Madero was killed in 1913 during the so-called tragic 10 years, la decena trágica, the penultimate coup d'etat in Mexican history. Vasconcelos survived thanks to his law firm the following years and supported the caudillos who defeated Madero's enemies. In short, Vasconcelos belonged to the Mexican Revolution that, by the way, was divided in several branches and in several trends. And he preferred the so-called liberal tendency of the Mexican Revolution. A relative peace came finally around 1920, and Vasconcelos became president or rector of our university. The North American government hadn't recognized the new president of Mexico, Álvaro Obregón, responsible of the last coup d'etat in our history against the officially elected, legally elected President Venustiano Carranza in 1920. 1921 began as an uncertain year. The world was suffering the consequences of war and pandemic. The World War I had changed forever the maps of the world, especially in Europe, and step by step also in Middle East, and in the general model of economical and political relations among centers and peripheries. Mexico was simultaneously a central and a peripheral country. We were, as a country, and are, even now, geostrategic for the world, and we are the most important Spanish-speaking country regarding the number of speakers. Vasconcelos knew it. In fact, Vasconcelos was a thinker. He was a philosopher, memorialist, a biographer of himself. And he had a vision about Latin American past, present, and future. He thought that Latin American countries should be an unified nation, like Simón Bolívar had dreamt and conceived us 1 century before, around 1821, 200 years ago. This dream comes back to our public projects every 20 or 30 years, depending on political and economic circumstances. 100 years ago, Vasconcelos was aware of the recent and current tensions among cultures, economic and political powers, and new alliances and pacts and covenants around the world. The traditional model of colonization was in crisis. In fact, the World War I was a consequence of such crisis among central hegemonic countries on one hand, and among them central countries like European and Anglo-American countries, of course the United States of America, and peripheral countries on the other hand. He, Vasconcelos, also had the really clever and pertinent vision that languages are always strategic, especially in critical times. I summarize this part of my introduction, general introduction to the origins of our center by saying that Vasconcelos, our president of our university, knew that Mexico is simultaneously a peripheral and a central country, geostrategic, and Spanish language was and is a very important key for the future, not only in relation to foreigners, but also to those Mexican, especially Mexican of indigenous origin, who couldn't speak or write Spanish well. He has founded simultaneously our summer school for foreigners and an institute for Mexican indigenous people, because he wanted that also our countrymen and countrywomen could speak Spanish better. As I have just said, Spanish as a world language is strategic, especially in critical times. Every language, we know it well, is an important key to enter in a country, in a culture, even in a civilization, in a regional and global vision, and of course, in a specific way of life. Consequently, teaching languages is a key service inside of a general intention or a main intention of being well known abroad. It is a soft power. We also know that the soft power depends on aspects like culture, diplomacy, education, and all of them are closely related to languages, language learning and language teaching. Therefore, we can conclude that teaching and learning languages are and make part of modern big soft powers in this world. In short, Vasconcelos had strategic skills in his way of thinking and acting. He was indeed an active thinker and a conscious builder of institutions. He has founded our Ministry of Education, the Secretaría de Educación Pública, that has had a main role in the Mexican Revolution. It was an institution as a consequence of the Mexican Revolution, and it was founded at the same year that our summer school has been founded. And both of them, the main ministry and our summer school, has been founded by José Vasconcelos. And he knew perfectly well that the Spanish language was an advantage for Latin American peoples. He described them, us, as a cosmic race, full of youth, of energy, and of possibilities. And we can analyze 100 years later how many things we have achieved as a consequence of these institutions, and how many things we have to do for the next 100 years. He wanted, I quote, universalize knowledge about the Spanish language and the Mexican culture. 1 century later, these words remain our mission and shape our vision. Spanish language is spoken on 5 continents and is an unofficial or very active language on at least 4 of them, of our continents: America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. It is the second spoken language in the United States of America, and we can admire the vision of Vasconcelos when he discovered how important teaching Spanish language in the USA was and is. In 2021, students from our neighbor country in the north, are the most relevant, at least in number, for our center. The spirit of Vasconcelos remains alive. Nowadays, we pluralize culture and say cultures because we are sure that the diversity in languages, visions, creativity, ways of life makes part of the daily teaching and learning of our center. I will ask Paulo Nagano to present us, to introduce to our offer. And finally, I repeat my thankfulness for your invitation, Tomás, Mitzi. Thank you very much, Jose Ricardo. And we are very proud of the people who have made part of our teaching center as teachers and also as students. Pablo will mention some of these names. Thank you very much for your attention, and I keep in contact to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Dr. Alberto Vital, thanks a lot. Also, thanks a lot, Ricardo Mendez and Mitzi Jacqueline for this invitation for the CEPE to share what is important to us. Dr. Alberto Vital just mentioned about that we are really in love with sharing, with teaching about language. So my role in this presentation is to show or to talk about what we do in CEPE, how we do it, and why we're in love with teaching Spanish with foreign students. So I have different videos also to show regards to the presentation. So I just want to start with a video that we did last year. I'm also aware that this presentation or that this small talk is for foreign students or also for these institutions that want to get in touch with us. So the information that I'm gonna share with you is could be a little bit general, but for the another institutions or another students that want to learn Spanish with us, want to learn culture and Mexican culture with us, I think the information is gonna be quite well for them. So I'm gonna start with by sharing a video. Okay, sorry, can you tell me if you already see it?
You're sharing your screen, so go ahead, please.
Okay, the video stopped somehow. Okay, one of my the goals of what I want to present in this short space of time is that CEPE is not only a school of Spanish. Also, we are leading in a world leading institution by certification about the Spanish. So if you want to see this way, that every teacher that wants to certificate to teach Spanish in different countries has to come to CEPE or also to some institutions in Spain. There's not a lot of institutions that can do these certifications for this academic level. And also CEPE is not only for teaching Spanish, but we have a specific method that we, at the same time, we teach Mexican culture and Spanish culture. So I want to right now share the presentation that we already made for this conference. Okay, sorry. Okay, I want also to point out that CEPE after the pandemic has really changed a lot. I mean, CEPE hasn't stopped any single minute since Dr. Alberto Vital project, the called CEPE 365. That means that CEPE is going to be open for anyone in the world, any hour you want to learn. So that is the main project that even before pandemic, it already started. So as Dr. Alberto Vital already said, we are very, very proud that we have 100 years. So this is one of the top institutions, world leading class about the time that is already open. As Dr. Alberto Vital also mentioned, this is a brief story about CEPE. It was founded, as Dr. Alberto Vital said, by the Councilor Jose Vasconcelos in 1921. Then CEPE, 20 years after, start growing and expanding all around the world. So in San Antonio, Texas, there was another foundation. Then in 1981, the summer school, because CEPE, already started as a summer school, became a teaching center for foreigners. This was very, very important because the transitions from summer school to teaching center means that CEPE already has a lot of research about what is the impact of Spanish in the world. As I already point out, it's not only a school about Spanish language, also has a lot of research and researchers working in it. Then CEPE continued growing in Tasco. The CEPE Tasco is a very beautiful place. For those who already don't know about Tasco, I really invite you to look about what is Tasco, all the history that has in our country. So CEPE has already another department that is CEPE Tasco, and in 2001, 20 years ago, CEPE has another place to share and to teach Spanish and Mexican culture, that is CEPE Polanco, that is also located in Mexico City. And this is really one of the main things, and I just want to be sure that for the foreign students or for the institutions or international institutions that could watch this presentation right now or maybe in the future, one of the main goals about CEPE is teach the Spanish language and Mexican culture with quality and efficiency to non-Spanish speakers. We know there's a lot of nowadays, a lot of smartphone applications, tablet applications, but you don't really have this certification. You don't really have a really great and commit teachers. So CEPE really is the way to do it, and also by this huge institution that is the UNAM. So another part of our mission, our main mission or main goal, is to certify mastery of Spanish as a foreign language and train teachers. So from teachers that want to go all over the world, they have to come to CEPE to show that they are really certified to teach Spanish. And our third and not our last mission is to teach and disseminate the history, art, and literature of Mexico. And also, I want to point out some of the tasks that the CEPE is doing right now. You know, the last one were main objectives, and this is a particular objective. So it's teach, evaluate, and certificate Spanish for foreigners, train teachers of Spanish as a foreign language. I already said that. But another task, conduct educational research in Spanish and Mexican culture, publish quality educational materials. So I want to say that the publications that in the CEPE we do are not only for foreign students, but are also for the research that is made in CEPE. And one of the main goals that in CEPE with CRAI and the GESI and this festival, international festival that we are really glad to be here, is also supporting the UNAM internalization project. Dr. Alberto Vital said, as when he was coordinator of humanities, a lot of universities came to Mexico because of UNAM. I mean, the main door for the universities or to foreign students to reach the Mexico is UNAM. In academic sense, in academic way, UNAM is the first place that they look for, and so they contact us. So these are the main goals in Mexico. So CEPE, as in the video already we already said, we have two places here in Mexico City, that is CEPE Polanco and CEPE UNAM, one with 100 years ago that was founded, and Polanco 20 years, and CEPE Tasco that is located in Guerrero, an extraordinary place to be and to visit, is has already 30 years. I also want to mention the nationalities that we already have in the CEPE the last year. So for America, for North America, specifically obviously Canada and United States, 20% of the students we have. But the big percentage that for the last years has increased a lot is Asia. As you see, already half of our population is coming of the Asian countries. Also 20% in Europe, as it's already obvious why is that. In Latin America, 6.4%, Africa 4%, and Australia 1%. This is how we already are receiving our students. As Dr. Vital also mentioned, and when he became director of the CEPE 1.5 years ago, and before the pandemic, he already started this project, CEPE 365. That is what is meant to say that all day, all year long, all over the world. After he was promoting this project, the pandemic came in March, or in February in 2020 here in Mexico. That came like 3 months after China or after Europe. So when the pandemic came, somehow we were prepared to also have this plan that no matter when you are in the world, no matter where you are, you can study Spanish. So like the virtual life, the virtual things that are changing a lot, CEPE is already prepared to share all the knowledge of our teachers to every people in the world who want to learn Spanish and Mexican culture. When you learn a language, we already have that very clear. Sometimes if you want to learn another language, I mean French, I mean German, I mean, it's because something about that culture really likes you. So that's why CEPE is very important for us to share our Mexican culture, because many of the foreigners want to learn Spanish because they read a book about some Mexican author about Mexican muralists, about Mexican art, about Orozco, about Frida Kahlo, about Siqueiros, about all the things that Mexico is very rich, but also about the indigenous, about the Mayans, about the Aztecs. So CEPE is constantly promoting these courses. Someone in Spanish, but another one in English. So we are participating in every university that wants to share the Mexican or the Spanish culture. We are developing a way to be there. So CEPE 365 also, it's important to mention that CEPE can create a special course for your needs. CEPE opens the main courses every 6 weeks. It really doesn't stop at all, but also CEPE can create for specific needs. If your institutions want to just focus in some about Mexican culture or Spanish, CEPE can talk with your director or with your counselor and create a course for you. That is also very important too. That is this flexibility that CEPE has since the CEPE 365 or CEPE 365 project that is already running. Academic offer is what we do, what we share, what we teach in CEPE. So these are tailor-made courses or specifically made courses if you want to, for a specific a small group of students, or can be a big group. Also diplomas, so Mexican culture courses, instructor training for the teaching of Spanish as a foreign language, and also a certification of Spanish as a foreign language. Spanish and Mexican culture courses for foreigners. We also do this way. I think this is the best way that we already do a lot of research about how people really learn a language. So we have a lot of playful activities. It's not only a boring way to do it, but also cultural outings. Certification of Spanish proficiency. This is, I'm just gonna pass this slide very, very fast, but this is how our practice, our hours, our levels are coordinated in a way that students have these courses every 6 weeks. So from level 0 to 4, there are 6 weeks in level 0, 6 weeks in level 1, and so on, 6 weeks in level 5 to 8, and also these are the hours. So total is 126 hours for each one of the different levels to have mastered your Spanish courses. I also gonna share with you this presentation or a specific information if you really need how is the way that you are gonna study Spanish here in the CEPE. And you see that we also have this theater and pronunciation. It's also very fun. We have a department of activities, of ludic activities, so the foreigners really, really enjoy studying in CEPE. They also made a lot of friends. So it's like a big experience what you get in CEPE. Also, you learn about architecture, century, history of Mexico, Mexico through literature, popular art, indigenous community, Mexico by its literary authors. We have these publications that is called Dicho y Hecho, like in translation, it's said and done, Spanish as a foreign language. And these are the materials or the books that our students have in each one of the courses. And this slide is just to show you a sample of Mexican courses. This is art, because we have a department in art. We have a lot of teachers specialized in art, in history, and literature. So you don't only get a general history of Mexico. If you want, you can really have a profound learning about what is Mexico and also history of Mexico in many of its centuries. So end of millennium art is very important, pre-Hispanic art, new cinema art, muralism, and about the history, pre-Hispanic Mexico, history of pre-Hispanic Mexico, and viceroyal Mexico. Just to mention a few things. And literature chronicles workshop, Mexican novel of 20th century, Mexican short stories, and of 19th and 20th centuries. This is also Mexican culture diploma degrees that is called DEM. That is, if you really want to specialize about some things in Mexican culture that is a little bit more profound what you already get in the courses. So this is for our advanced students, and it has 4 units in the total. You already have 180 hours. So the level of what you already achieved in this diploma is really high, and there is no other institution that can share these courses for foreigners. This is the material. This is just a brief example about the material about art, history, and literature. And also this that is advanced diploma that is called DIBELE, that is a basic diploma. Then the next one, the more advanced one, is 6 units. It's called the APELE. And this is for the last one that is called a special teaching for Spanish as foreign language. That is 4 semesters. After these 4 semesters, you already have the ability to teach Spanish at a very high level, even academic level. It's 488 hours. And also we have this, we are also renovating or refreshing, that is to say, I think that's a better word, refreshing our courses. And we, every month, we have and share different courses in all our social media. The online academic offer focus on flexibility on all year long, as we already said in CEPE 365, and different schedules and various time zones. New learning materials, every courses. We are not sharing a way to learn Spanish that was 20 years ago. We already, every single year, this way of teaching is refreshing. You can do it all online. It's all registration. You can pay online also. You don't have to come to CEPE to pay. And as already we already said, the pandemic hasn't stopped CEPE to offer these cultural courses to everyone in the world. This is for the one that are really onto certification. So this is the CELA, the way we certify by our exams. And also we work with Instituto Cervantes in Spain, but Instituto Cervantes, as you already know, has Spanish departments all around the world in the most important universities. Also with Universidad de Salamanca. So this is called the CIELE. CIELE is this tool that is this service, international service for certification for the Spanish language. So we are really very proud of this tool or this instrument that is only made here in the UNAM and Instituto Cervantes. This is also for the certification. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is how we do the certification, advanced, independent, proficiency, different tests. If you want to share, I can share you for sure this more specific information, but this is just a general way to share how we do it. EXCELA is the exam that diagnoses the level of suitability of candidates from non-speaking Spanish countries. Online application also, this is the structure of EXCELA, the results, how we have these results. And what is CIELE? This is also about this certification is multi-level and can be applied online. We have a lot of different places where you can have these certifications by CIELE. Also in all of the UNAM centers all around the world, you can have this exam and certified to share and learn Mexican culture with academic students. This is very important to mention also that this tailor-made Spanish and Mexican culture. We did this before pandemic. When pandemic changed a little bit things, we are going also to redo these things, because this also had a great success with Asian students. We rent a house or a specific place, so they can not only have this Spanish teaching, but also they involve a lot of things. They live in Tasco, they live in Mexico City, but they are guided every single day to different places as a tourist, as CEPE. So CEPE can provide these courses also as a tourist. It doesn't matter if you already have these 6 weeks or if you don't have the time. If you have 3 weeks in Mexico, 4 weeks in Mexico, you can contact us, contact the CEPE, and we can make these tailor-made courses for you. These are our guided tours. So our students really love this guided course, and also the intensive Spanish and Mexican culture. So for this presentation, I just want to close this presentation with some of the comments that the students from Russia to China, from Egypt, has to say about CEPE. So I'm going to start. I'm going to stop sharing this presentation, and I'm going to share this video. And with this, we can finish this presentation.
Thank you very much, Pablo. I would like to add that we have, as you have seen, ambitious publishing program. We have some long sellers in digital and in paper versions, and we have a quite new laboratory for languages, Laboratorio de Idiomas. I think it is very interesting for you that we, as Pablo has just said, we make research. We research, especially in issues like Spanish as a foreign language and Spanish for future teachers. Thank you very much, and we are ready to answer your questions.
Yeah, if you want, Dr. Alberto Vital, of you or Mitzi or Jose Ricardo, we can finish by showing you this video. It's 3-minute video about our students. They are speaking in Spanish, so for the Spanish speakers hearing these presentations, you can measure the way or the level they reach. And for the foreign students that could be hearing this presentation, we can also translate it for you. So I'm going to share it.
Pablo, just be sure to connect your audio because there's no sound on.
We can't hear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're very right, Ricardo. Perfect. So happy anniversary, CEPE, because of the 100 years.
Hola amigos y amigas, me llamo Wenchi, soy de China y fui una alumna de CEPE.
Soy Yarte Mundi Chancante, soy diplomático marfileño, trabajando aquí en México, en la Embajada de Costa de Marfil.
Soy Elena Guliaevo y soy ex alumna del CEPE, el Centro para la Enseñanza de los Extranjeros de la UNAM.
Me llamo Noriko. Me encantaron todos los cursos que tomé.
So this is why I study Spanish, and each student.
Bueno, mi pasión por aprender español empezó después de mi primer viaje a México en 2014. En ese momento estaba enseñando mandarín en una universidad en la Ciudad de México.
Me gusta aprender la lengua español porque primero es una lengua que me gusta muy bien y segundo, como soy diplomático, necesito aprender muchas lenguas y por eso creo que español me ayuda mucho en mi trabajo.
Porque ahora estoy trabajando en Rusia en la Academia de Diplomacia y me siento que toda mi experiencia que yo había tenido en México me dio la oportunidad de estar el día de hoy aquí y por eso estoy trabajando con diferentes profesores de diferentes países de Latinoamérica. Estamos escribiendo los artículos juntos desde Chile, Argentina, México, Salvador y de otros países de Latinoamérica.
Porque yo vivo en México y quiero poder comunicarme mejor en español. Me encantaron todos los cursos que tomé y los maestros son muy amables y muy atentos. De verdad aprendí más de lo que imaginaba, porque al principio pensaba que solo iba a mejorar mi español. Pero también te enseñan la cultura y la historia de México y ahora me interesa conocer más sobre la historia mexicana.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the video just there, but maybe you can measure the way that students from all over the world, from China, from Japan, from Africa, really have this fluid Spanish. So CEPE is also working with diplomats, and we're very proud of what CEPE is doing right now, even after pandemic. So thanks a lot for this place to share what we are doing and invite all the people that want to learn Spanish. But I want to just to finish that it's not only for foreigners. CEPE also is for Spanish speakers that want to have a different approach to Mexican culture, or a more profound approach to Mexican culture. So thanks a lot and welcome to CEPE anytime you want.
Pablo, thank you very much, Doctor. It was a pleasure to hear you and to see the experiences by the people who has already been with you. I had an experience with a Brazilian student there, and she was quite happy with the results afterwards. So I have some questions. Most of them are related to the costs of the courses, of the types or the courses you have, and if there is a requirement of a visa for being here studying with you. So they also ask for a contact email, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a page, an internet page, but I would like to ask this, is there a visa required for studying with you?
Do you want to answer, Pablo?
If you want to answer, Dr. Alberto Vital?
Yes, we don't need a special visa, just the visa that our country, our federal authorities require. So that's it. By the way, we are prepared to return step by step to the face-to-face activities, classes, and so on, courses. So you can enter to our page. We were trying to make our page as friendly as possible, and I'm sure we will achieve that in the next days, so that you can intuitively and quickly find exactly what you want. The costs, we have calculated that more or less each 8 hours costs more or less $50. Comparing to other schools like Instituto Cervantes, we are really very competitive in our costs, considering that we are one of the most important universities in the world. And we have an experience, 1 century experience. So, and besides, we have agreements with some institutions in order to deliver some scholarships. Perhaps you belong to a university with which we have made some agreement, and you can receive some discount in our general tariffs. If not, you can approach to us to make us specific questions in your personal situation and needs, and we can, I'm sure, to find an agreement.
Pablo, if you want, thank you, Doctor. You almost answered all the questions we have received. So, Pablo, if you would like to share your email or an email
Yes.
for people to contact you, since we are broadcasting through YouTube, maybe there are some people who cannot be in this classroom, Zoom classroom. Maybe they can see the email and contact you for specific troubles they have or for specific doubts they have. So if you would like to write it, Pablo, and share it to us.
Yeah, sure. I'm already doing that. I'm going to
And also mine.
share it right now.
Of course, Doctor.
Okay. Do you want to share also your email, Dr. Vital?
Yes, I'm just doing it with pleasure. Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the journal page is cepeunam.mx. For the information is informes@cepe.unam.mx, and I don't know if, okay, and personal email of Dr. Alberto Vital is avital@cepe.unam.mx.
Thank you very much. And there is another doubt, which I see a lot of Mexican people in this classroom. So do you have any volunteer programs for Mexican students for you to be with interacting with foreign students?
Yes, we have Mexican students. They really love our offer. And indeed, we try to combine activities with Mexican students and foreign students. Indeed, that's very interesting for them.
They say that the best way to learn languages is by interacting with people and sharing the culture, no? So
I agree.
So it could be a perfect opportunity to share, to be with foreign students and to know many other experiences we can share. So it was a pleasure, Doctor. I really admire your job. I really admire your person. Pablo, I think
Ricardo.
I've already met you somewhere else, but
yes.
People, this is a very nice chance to hear people who are interested in foreign affairs. So there is no more to say that we have a constancy for you, Dr. Vital. I will read it in Spanish. Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, la Facultad de Contaduría y Administración otorga el presente reconocimiento al doctor Alberto Vital Díaz por su destacada participación como ponente en la conferencia Centro de Enseñanza para Extranjeros CEPE, impartida el 20 de septiembre de 2021 en el marco del Primer Festival Internacional FCA-UNAM. Por mi raza hablará el espíritu, y la firma nuestro director, el maestro Tomás Humberto Rubio Pérez, quien le manda un afectuoso saludo, doctor, un abrazo. Y bueno, pues a todos nuestros alumnos, alumnas, muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos, y por favor continúen con las actividades de este festival, que es el primero, y ojalá que la vida nos depare muchos más y que la pandemia nos permita hacerlos presenciales en algún momento.
Claro.
Thank you very much to you all.
Thank you very much once again.
Muchas
Gracias,
gracias,
doctor.
Ricardo. Muchas gracias a todos.
Muchas
Pablo,
gracias.
abrazos, que estén muy bien. Maestra, muchas gracias, Mitzi.
Muchas
Mitzi.
gracias, doctor Vital, muchas gracias.